And that's a good start right there. Just the fact that it's not the same formula over and over again. I think any good writing, any good storytelling is both specific and universal. You take a character that couldn't be anybody else. Arthur, Newman, or Wallace can only be Wallace. And yet the magic is that we all feel somehow that we understand his life, and that could apply to us. He is absolutely without any kind of identity or roots about which he can feel not only proud or planted in, but also about which he can feel romantic or sentimental about. There's that Miles Davis quote, "Don't play what you know, play what you don't know." And this was definitely what I didn't know to a very large extent. And we have an unknown quantity with the director, unknown quantity with the character, and whether I felt I could do it, and what kind of film this could possibly turn out to be. And I actually was exhilarated by all those variables. But you do have to have something to go on. I mean, if I'd met Dante and I didn't get a good feeling, I think it would have been over right there. And he has an intensity about him and a fierce intelligence and no pretense whatsoever. He's very much a guy's guy. You know, there's no question about it. You know, he's full of kind of Italian male hormones, and he's got a big beard and he smokes cigars. And, you know, he likes dirty jokes, but he's very sensitive. You know, there's this sort of rather Hemingway macho sensitive thing going on, which I think is so good for the territory we're in here. This film is full of fragility and issues of what it's like to be exposed and what people are like at their most vulnerable. But it's not a soft story, not in the way that would imply. I think it has immense courage in that it does not resolve itself. I'm talking about moment to moment. I'm not talking about how this film ends. But it doesn't resolve, the moments don't resolve themselves or into the moments you think they're going to. It feels very, very much like life, and it's very rare that a film script will do that. Life is haphazard. Life is random. Life does not have 3 acts and a satisfactory conclusion to it. It's ongoing, and the plug gets pulled and the rug gets swept from under you. And you frequently don't get sent strange divine messages when you hope for them, and I think the best writing echoes that, and you find it in novels, good novels, but you rarely find it in screenwriting. And this was like reading a good book. This had that. It had that authenticity, and it ended in a way that I would expect a genuinely good piece of literature to end. I was surprised every day on this, and Emily certainly surprised me, because I had what I thought was a 3-dimensional view of the character of Mike, but I clearly hadn't, because the dimensions that she brought to it were limitless as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there was so many nuances, and I think that she is every bit as dark and damaged and threatening to somebody like Wallace as I would have imagined. But that's not all, and she doesn't lean on those qualities, and she doesn't push those characteristics. I mean, she doesn't act anything really. She just inhabits it. If the writing is rich, and if it has substance and something to really offer you, that will reveal itself if you allow it to. And the wonderful thing I would say about Dante is that he has an innate talent for letting it breathe.